Good afternoon, Flosstube. My name is Mandy. Welcome to my channel, all about cross stitch. Today is Monday, December 29th, 2025, and we are here for a year-end WIP parade. This is going to be take number 2. Lesson to the wise. If you are on an iPhone and you pause to go read a text message, apparently it saves the video as if you're done filming rather than being able to go back and hit play and go back and redo it. So, take 2. We are here for a year-end WIP parade. If you are stitching and you are one who does the before and after pictures, I'd love for you to tag me on Instagram. I am stitchingbee82, so that's BEE, so like a bumblebee, but stitching B82. Tag me in before after pictures. I'd love to see what you're stitching on and what kind of progress you can get. I am showing all of my projects today. I have them sorted in oldest to newest by non-full coverage, full coverage. I was debating in my last video if I wanted to do 2 separate videos, but I think I'm just going to try to do it all in one, assuming phone doesn't die because of battery, assuming I don't have to pause again to read another text message. Yeah. I know I had said a couple other things in my intro from what I had initially started. Luckily, I was only 6 minutes in, so I was on my second project, so it wasn't like I was too far along. But yeah, this is take number 2. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see. Stick around a little while. If you are a returning viewer, thank you. I always appreciate your support. So let's dive into this, shall we? Oldest project. Not my oldest overall, because I do have a full coverage that's older than this, but this is regular. I don't know if you can hear that. It is very windy here in Michigan today. It is very well, I shouldn't say very, we've been getting some snow, but it is so windy, and there's a patio door right here, and I know it is so not the most the best sealed. There are times that the plastic blind, whatever, vinyl, whatever there, the blinds, vertical blinds, will just start rattling because, you know, wind, not sealed, and the door not being sealed very well. So fun times. It's been a great day to sit here and stitch though. First one that we're going to show is the Twisted Rainbow Sampler from Northern Expressions Needleworks. Stitches! If you saw the tail end of that black cat running by, that is my cat Stitches. I know she's such a favorite of so many people. This is offered in a standard full cross stitch versus specialty stitch. I am doing the standard one, just the full crosses. I had been gifted the paper chart, but at some point within the past, I don't know, year or so, maybe 2, I went to Northern Expressions Etsy shop, bought the PDF. It went perfectly into Pattern Keeper, again because it's the full cross version. So yeah, this is stitched on a piece of 16 count, not Swagger, the other one, Witchelt, in Midnight Gray. I do have notes over here, so if you see me look in that direction, I wanted to write out fabric names, because as I was going through things, it's like, what fabric was this on again? Oh yeah, it was that one. No way do I think I'd actually remember, so we do have some notes. Everything from the red to the orange to the yellow to the green are completely done. We are working our way into that blue. I have to finish out this band of that blue, and then that color will be done, and then we did start working into the navy. Well, I don't even know if that's the darkest blue. I don't remember. So, that is a fun one. That was my new year, new start on, well, January in 2022. So it'd be nice to be able to get that to a finish. My last remaining 2022 WIP, non-full coverage, because I don't remember where those stand. Beautiful Things from Lindy Stitches. This is stitched on a 16 count but Stitch Me In scroll. I haven't noted that it was a club exclusive for like the full cover. Words are gonna be tough today. Fabric of the Month Club. I have no clue if it was ever released as a regular color, but it is called Scroll. And this is where we are. The words were all done a couple of years ago. I finished out the, I know I had a good bit of the fence done already, so I finished the fence and then started on that vase. I am using all called for. It's DMC and Classic Colorworks. The Classic Colorworks looks really cool because you can really see that variegation. I am doing single stitches at a time to get maximum variegation, just especially for that vase, because you know that like rust, it just really lends to the rusted and you know nature of that broken fence. So would love to see this finished in 26. We'll see if that actually happens or not. Moving on to 2023, this was my New Year, New Start that year. This is the second one in the series that I have started, number 5 in the Songbird Garden series, Bluebirds of Happiness. It is still in the wrapping, but shouldn't have too much of a glare. These cherry blossoms, they're gonna take forever. I'm stitching this on an 18 count but Stitch Me In punch. Now I have received this since I started this in a Fabric of the Month that definitely had a lot more purple. I believe this one was in a one of the boxes. I want to say it was like, seems like maybe it was just the beach. I don't know. There was a box that I got a few years ago that I think it might have been from that. So it's really just more solid pink and going into lighter pink. I've got another piece in my stash that has a lot more purple into it, so it's different pieces, but I mean it's overdyed or hand dyed fabric. You're definitely not going to get same results all the time anyways, so yeah. So this one was actually something that I had pulled out in December. I think I'd said it in my last video, but or when I had started it. There's a number of projects in here. It has been a few weeks since I last filmed a regular Flosstube, so of course there's pieces that from that have had progress that hadn't been seen. Plus there were a few projects. There was a Facebook challenge that I was working on that I remember holding off a few pieces that I'm like, well, you know, a couple hundred stitches doesn't really show a whole lot of progress. I'll just wait to the WIP parade to share those. So there's some pieces that really from the last time you've seen may actually be quite a good bit of progress. So, but yeah, I recently worked on this for a challenge and just really working in these cherry blossoms, getting this tree. That tree is not all the way down to, I know I'm not to the bottom of the piece yet because there's some grass, but I don't even remember if that's all the way to the, I doubt. I think there's more past that it's gonna go, so. I say it all the time, but yep, somehow I messed up that flower. No clue what I did. I picked it up one time, I'm like, isn't there supposed to be brown in that? Somehow I just filled it all in with the same color. Never even realized it as I was stitching. It is gonna stay that way. So that is my Bluebirds of Happiness. And we are gonna be using my iPad to show pictures because we have not figured, I have figured out the whole editing thing. It's been a long time since I've done it, but device space, anytime I've yeah, the device definitely, it's to the point that I can't even do like a software update on my iPad. I keep getting an error, so I don't know if it's just because it's really old or if there's just not enough space. Either way, we're doing the iPad thing. Lady Halloween from Jardin Privé. We got quite a little bit of a duplicate thing going on there, but love this piece. I just have not given it the attention that it needs. This This is on a 16 count Rainy Day from Bestitch Me. Oh, it looks so good. So I have no clue how far down it's gonna go. I have not cut the piece at all. So I'm stitching this mainly in 310, but then I am adding in DMC 154. No, is it 154? That's super, super dark purple. 155? 155, I guess it is. It's that super, super dark purple. So anywhere there's flowers, I'm adding purple too. So like these flowers, that's that super dark purple. It's not a full symbol for symbol thing. This is charted mainly to be monochromatic. There's charting to have it in black and then a dark and a light gray, so up to 3 colors. So I'm treating it as monochromatic with adding that purple into it every now and again. So like I said, where there's flowers, so that's purple. This is split, so that's every other. I can see that it's purple and black in person. It's not really showing up with my light too much, but I love it. Glad to have that big old motif done because that definitely took quite a while. This year it seems like I worked on adding some more of these letters in and then really just mainly focused a little bit over here. Moving on. My projects, like the fabric I'm using on some projects, definitely looks really different from the model cover or like the cover photos. So trying to find them can be kind of funny. Witchy Stitcher Apothecary Shop. Yes, I have my TV on. This is on a Bestitch Me 16 count in It's a Mystery. And that's actual color name, It's a Mystery. So it's blue and purple. Oh, it's so pretty. So again, this was another one for the challenge in December that I was working on. So I have really been finishing up the word apothecary. A previous time when I did the whole frame, because the frame is complete all the way around, I had miscounted. It's 1 stitch too narrow. So smart me made a note of how to adjust the Y so that it doesn't run into the border, but it's gonna be just fine. If someone can tell that that's 1 stitch too short once it's all said and done, they're looking way too close to me. But that is my apothecary shop. I definitely could see this one actually getting finished again if I pick it up. I think that's going to be the theme of next year is, oh, this could be finished if I pick it up. Year in the Woods. The original Year in the Woods. Woodpecker. This was number 9. And last time I picked it up, I left a thread hanging. So, you get to see that. This is stitched on a Bestitch Me in 16 count Dusty Cottage. So there we are. Last time I picked it up, I finished the red in the back of the head, and then really just starting to working down into the body. I do have this on a piece, planning to do the other 2. When these were released, whatever year that was now, basically there was ideas of how to stitch 3 to a material for a seasonal. So I did end up doing that where I've got all 4 pieces of material to be able to do them so that, you know, they don't. But this is only the second one of the series that I've even started. I have the bald eagle done. Alrighty, the first project, the next project I'm going to show is the first one that I didn't touch at all this year. Do I not have a cover photo? Huh, I didn't realize that. Let's see if I can find it from the pattern. There we go. Grief Knows No Bounds. This was a collaboration of Stitchers for Peace initiative. It is designed with Marumi Designs, Michelle Bendy, Yasmin's Made with Love, Crafty Yams. 1, 2, 3. I feel like I'm missing. I thought it was 5. Marumi Designs, Aya Rosen. That's who I was missing, right? Aya Rosen, Yasmin's Made with Love, Michelle Bendy, Crafty Games. I knew there was one I was missing. This was started in 2020. I don't have it noted here. Now we really got me looking because Grief Knows No Bounds. Where is it at? It is a 2024. Okay, so this is my first 2024 project that I still have on the go. I didn't touch it at all this year. I definitely want to, though. It is a powerful piece. It is beautiful. I just didn't have it this year. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count Bestitch Me in Ledger. So I do have the whole grid all the way around, at least half stitches. So I still have to go finish doing all the way around, but then I did at one point decide to start with that corner. So I know the border, what is that saying? What is that saying? From land to sea. From the river to the sea. I knew there was a particular, so it's representing from river to sea. And then just start in that upper corner again. Hasn't been touched. Got a long way to go. I want to get back to that. I think this was another piece that I never picked up this year. Yasmin's Made with Love. July Birth Flower. Love this piece. That border is so fun. This is stitched on a Bestitch Me Winter Mix. So it is a really, really pretty blue. Yeah, I really don't think that I touched this at all, but started that border. So this is upper left border. 2 colors in the border, so it's a really pretty like bluish purple with pops of black. So again, I really would like to get back to it. I just don't think it happened this year. This next piece, I did work on it and I love it. I bought it from, there's some confusion with the pattern. I bought it from Nara X Stitch, I think. My screenshot even shows Rainbow Hunter, but call it patchwork. So very pretty. This has been such a fun piece to work on. Zweigart in Mystic Gray. So I did have to go with a different style. This wasn't going to be big enough, or the piece is too big that I wouldn't have been able to fit it on one of my fabric of the month, so I went with this. But it's going to be a decent size. This is 9 of 49 right? Blocks done. It's so fun. So it's definitely going in a rainbow diagonally. So like this box here are going to be the same, or are the same floss. This way is going to be the same, and so on. So when I picked this up, I had to finish this block and then did all of this block, I believe. Again, this was another one of those challenge pieces that I did in the month of, starting this month. Alrighty. We have got Courage from ORATM. I bought this from Forbidden Fiber Co. So I'm using it, their overdyed flosses. So it's a pop of orange from Midas Touch and Obsidian floss, which is basically just black. I'm trying to remember if I worked on this one at all or not. I think I did. April Showers is this Bestitch Me. I have Bestitch Me fabric of the month, so most of my fabric is Bestitch Me. So it's really brilliant blue. It's gonna be a big size piece. I think this one's an 18 count. But working in that upper corner, just that first motif still. This was a birthday start in 2024. Obviously I haven't worked on it. I think maybe 2 or 3 stitching sessions. It has not been picked up much at all. Another project that didn't get picked up at all this year, from Forbidden Fiber Co., the Raining Loreleis. It is stitched on, it's an opal. I bought the whole kit with the floss and fabric, so it's I know it's an opal Ada. I just don't remember the name of it. It's a thick Ada though. With it being on 18 count and opal, like I'm loving 18 count. That's not the issue, but I think with the opal, this one plays tricks with my eyes. One session, picked it up last year when I started it and just did that first octagon. Right, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, octagon. Can't count my shapes. Called for colors. So it's Forbidden Fiber Co. floss. Maybe one of these days. Alrighty. I feel like this piece got a little bit of love this year at some point. Owl Forest, Autumn Cats. I believe this is a freebie. Neptune, Bestitch Me. So it's a really pretty blue. And we've just got that upper corner. We got the cat head done though. Called for DMC. So yeah, I'm sure it's probably charted in there. Overdyed flosses. I'm just doing it in DMC, so it would probably just be whatever the conversion is. This is another freebie. Boomerang Stitches. Bird Nerd. Earlier this year, I was at a local needlework shop here in town, and as I was getting ready to walk out the door, she said, "Oh, you want some freebies?" and showed me the different offerings, and this was one of them, but I already had the PDF from Boomerang. That's not even held up the right way. There we go. I do believe this was another one of those pieces that I worked on in that challenge, but maybe just a couple 100 stitches. Bestitch Me, lightly salted, not roasted. So, yeah, just working away on that same bird. I was missing flosses at one point, so I went shopping and finally just got all the flosses added to it. So got a little bit of progress last time I picked it up. This is a fun piece. I just need to work on it more than 200 stitches at a time. Whispered by the Wind. I guess this may be an out of print chart, but this is Astronomer's Gate. So that's what some of these charts are still available on like 1, 2, 3. Again, same LNS, that same shopping trip. I had spied one of these in a box, and did I end up getting one of them maybe that, and so the owner of the shop was telling me that this artist decided to stop publishing their part chart. So basically, if you can find them, they're out of print now. So I had found this in my stash. So I started it last year, probably October sometime 2024. I came across this particular pattern in my stash at one point. Like, I don't remember buying this. I don't remember being gifted. Like, I have no clue where this chart came from, but I love it. So, Gray Magic, I believe, was Stitch Me. So, here we go. Again, it's... Oh. Try not to lose needles this time. So I do plan on doing backstitch as I go. So I do have a little bit of backstitch like around the birds in this top portion, but I still need to do the backstitch here. I know when I picked it up last, I did that bird and then really starting in on that pillar. I definitely just need to, like I said, focus on it a little more. Next piece, moving right along from Cross Stitch for the Earth. I know in videos past I have been quite chatty, so I'm trying not to be, 2 hours here. Actually got a chance to work on this not that long ago. Never underestimate the difference you make. I was working on this, in fact, the day that Laura from Stitching by the Shore was showing her full finished scrapbook page of it in her floss mess, which turned out so good. Luna Moth is the fabric. I just don't remember 16 or 18 count. Oh, it is so pretty. Very, very soft bluish green, I guess. Mint. I don't know what color you call this. Bring it down a little bit. So, since you would have seen it last, I did, it's the start of a mushroom here. I had a little bit of floss left over, so I did that, and then all of the bird, and going into that. So I had the underestimate trees all done. This is such a fun piece to stitch, and it was so easy going. My wrist has been bugging me the last couple days. October 31st, Cottage Garden. So this was part of the A Time for All Seasons number 10. I always forget that this is part of a series. I did work on this a little bit on Halloween. I believe this is a color in cotton in Requiem. I don't think this is Stitch Me, because it's, especially given the size of the cut, I'm pretty sure this might be. But yeah, since I would have shown it last, I really just working right along in that border and getting into that. So I think that border may be done up to the star. There's a lot of work in that, a lot of counting. I can't wait to get to the bird, but I'm also trying to hold off on stitching the bird because I don't want to rush through stitching that. I have had a thing about stitching all of the birds lately. I don't even know why. Moving along to the next one. This is going to look quite different from mine, but that's why I love these monochromatic pieces. You can make them personalize them to how you want. Shaded Stitchery. This is Closely Kept number 3. Sandbar, I believe. No, Sand Dollar. My next one's Sandbar. So this is a piece that I have been adding stitches to it from other. So you would have seen the finish not too long ago. I already did a piece there and cut it down and finished it off. So I'll just fold it down so you can see just this piece. I am stitching this with a Pirate and Robin floss in Belladonna. You can definitely see some of those. Kind of looks like some of that 995 or 996 type of shades. 995, I guess it is. With a really dark blue. It's definitely, the variegation is really showing up a lot better in person. Like I said, it's such a gloomy day today. I've got my ring light on. But yeah. So I picked this up not too long ago, and I believe I was working in over here. This should easily be a finish next year. Okay, we're just moving right along, aren't we? I actually just put some stitches into this today. Well, about 400, I think. But otherwise, before today, this had not gotten any love today. Witch's Garden Craft, keep your laws off my buddy. I did do a blue conversion, beautiful as charted, but I wanted to get a little more blue into the piece. Oh yeah, here we go. This is stitched on a piece of, I think it's an 18 count. This stitched me, I wrote down color names, but I didn't necessarily write down size. So, Sandbar, which is definitely got some blue modeling to it. Still on the Q-snap because I was literally just working on it today. So when I picked it up today, I did all of the letters keep your, and then I'm starting to fill in. So I had the border done, the little one, and then the full overall one was already done last year. So this has been my piece that I picked up for working on WIP parades. So while I'm watching people, I am trying to do before and after pictures and maybe actually count. Who knows if I'll continue counting stitches, but for the time being, it was both videos that I watched today, a little more than an hour each, and been pretty smooth going to be able to get a couple hundred stitches in, and you know, not quite 90-minute videos. So this next piece, I don't really have a good cover photo for it at the moment. I never did get the, I never did pull save down a full picture or the piece of the whole thing because it's been released in monthly drops. 2025 Stitch for Pride from D's 20 Stitches. Stonehenge 16 count with Stitch Me. I feel like this whole thing shows up better in person than when it's showing on video. But I've got January, February, January, February, March. So the dragon was in March, April. It's been a while since I've learned what names these all were. I want to say this was Headshots Up. Oh, I can't say it. I can't talk. I don't remember all of the names at the moment. Still plugging away on it. I've got all the patterns. This one's been fun to work on though. So. Ooh, magnets. Alrighty. So, Stitch for Pride was my 2025 first start. I don't know that I necessarily started it. No, I don't think it was New Year, New Start. I started a full coverage. Next start, this was a January start at some point. Luminous Fiber Arts, Gathering Snowflakes. Only worked on this a couple different times, so. I had to figure out from the pattern which way is up. Granite. I want to say this one's an 18 count Bestitch Me. I had finished Gothic Luna Moth from, she just passed, Night Spirit Studios. Was my finish there, and then I'm loving these pieces where I can just add another, you know, start stitching. If I eventually ever finish things, they'll probably end up in my stitchy scrapbook and stuff, so I don't really need a whole lot of margins. But I am doing this with a thread, so back to gathering snowflakes. A Threadworks in aqua blue. I don't know what number or anything, but variegated. I am again doing stitch by stitch to get full variegation of that. So kind of funny to have a bright hummingbird with a winter piece, but hey, it works. Did I not save a picture of this either? Well, I know I just saw it the other day, but I think I went back to see. Apparently I'm not as prepared. Bear with me. So from 2x2 stitch art, yep. So I bought the pattern that's got both of those, like, so the two separate patterns. They're stitches. But the one that I'm currently started working on is this one right here. This is stitched on a piece of 16 count. The packaging is from Cosmos, so like the Cosmo floss that's now kind of starting to become a thing. I want to say it's that same company, Ada. This is the softest black, softest material, and there we go. It looks kind of funny at the moment because of that line right there, but I'm trying to stitch it so that I don't leave any kind of like tension lines, and so yeah, so I still gotta fill in that line. But yeah, last time I worked on it, I think I did a little bit, and this again was another one of those challenge pieces. I think I did a little bit down here, but really just this, maybe it's just filling in this lighter color and then came back to this like teal there. Based on Northern Lights. It's one of those Etsy names that has, you know, mile-long words to it or whatever, but I just got it on my notes about Northern Lights. Again, another fun piece. Technically a full coverage, but I don't list it under my full coverage, I guess. Goodness, again, another one that I never added a final picture to. Apparently I gotta save the screenshot for this. Empyrean Cell, Forbidden Fiber Co. It was released as weekly drops. I did not stick up with, or keep up with it. So. 18 count Bestitch Me in feathers, not Bestitch Me because it's a Forbidden Fiber Co. I bought the kit with the floss, fabric, all that. So we've got Zagale done. So when I picked it up, I did some of the daggers and then finished out the words of Basquiat. So all of the War College words are done. So I've got some more daggers, I think, over here, right? Yep, they face the other way. Another dragon. That's gonna be pattern. I think I added a little bit just because I still had it on the floss, another line there. But that is my Empyrean Zal. Cannot wait for book 4. So we are on to, oh, we have been. Stitch for Pride was 2025. I was gonna say we are now on to 2024 projects. Stitch for Pride started that. Works by ABC. We are working on Exquisite Lace. I've had this chart in my stash for a while. I was gifted a beautiful purple Silks for You, and I had an idea in mind of doing it on gray. I want to say that Gray Magic. This fabric came in the mail from Fabric of the Month. Immediately fell in love, said this needs a monochromatic color project on it. Kept going through like Etsy, trying to look for all kinds of different monochrome pieces, and Exquisite Lace kept pulling up. I'm like, I've already got that in mind for something else, but I can do that. This fabric is just absolutely stunning. I love this fabric. 18 count, I think. Wild Bouquet. Again, stitched with a Silks for You. I had a whole hank of it, so yeah. Plugging away. It's gonna be a big project. I think it's another one of those that I had the paper pattern but wanted a PDF. So I bought the PDF and went into Pattern Keeper perfectly. Of course, because of the floss color, I just had to find something else to rename it as a close DMC option or whatever, but otherwise it went into Pattern Keeper just fine. Wow, another one. I apparently am not on I know where it's at. Drive. Apparently I don't have all of the cover photos like I'm supposed to. Do I not have this one? Not really sure why. Another boomerang stitches, another bird. European Bee Eater. So I changed up the fabric, but I did not, so I am following called for colors, but there's a portion like this lighter color. I may have to change color because it may blend into my fabric too much. Frozen Lake from Bestitch Me, 18 count. It is a beautiful blue with a little bit of purple. This is as wide as it's gonna be in terms of, that's as far right as it'll go. So it's not gonna be a very big piece. So I've called for colors, DMC, and I have the vine. I think I have that like one green color nearly done. I think there's a little bit of the green in the bird itself, but otherwise that one green color would be done. Again, another one I want to get back to. doing too bad on the timing, I guess. Where's my color? This was my birthday start this year. Luthien Art Shop. You know, I think I might have mislabeled the July birth flower that I didn't touch, that I was talking about the border. I think I might have said this was Yasmin's Made with Love. This is Luthien Art Shop. So if you caught that, I know better. So same shop, Luthien Art Shop. I did find it on the shop. It's, again, one of those things. I want to say on the shop it was like called Witchy Wisdom or something to that effect. In a world full of princesses, be a witch. So, this is on a Fiber on a Whim, I believe 16 count. Presenting Lorelei Gilmore. It was in a box. So it's a neutral cream, not a huge piece, but definitely a lot to it. So, when I picked it up last time I brought more of the purple over, and then all of this green on this side was new since you would have seen it last. Still have a little more to do bringing that green down, but then that green will be done. So this was my new my birthday start this year. It was a total random random start. Another one that I know the last time I showed this, I just went to the shop and I should have just taken a screenshot of it. Why is that? So the version that I'm going to show on Etsy is different from the version that I have of the pattern. I was gifted this chart from Darling and Whimsy. It is her chart. Whimsy Bear, Wild Whimsy Bear. I have the Stitch North version. So I was gifted, it was a gift chart from a couple of years ago. I was gifted the fabric, the floss, and the pattern. The fabric was, oh gosh, I don't remember. Brandon needle, maybe. What I was starting to say is the floss is Brandon needle. It came with just a scrap of Ada, so I don't know the floss name or anything. This is literally one strand, one length of the border. So one little session, tiny little start that absolutely should be a finish this year. 26. All right. Is this my last? Almost. Non-full coverage. This is a Yasmin's Made with Love. All Hallows Eve. So it is a monochromatic piece. Again, I'm loving that DMC. Back to the Lady Halloween piece. Is it the 155 DMC? Another Great Magic piece. So literally just got the one corner triangle. I think that triangle is actually done though. It's looking pretty dark. It's almost looking black, but it is the DMC 155. So the screenshot is my Pattern Keeper mock-up in the 154. 155? I'm curious. Ooh, it is really dark. Yeah, that didn't change much. It's purple. Probably see it better. Alrighty. So, one last little thing. I had mentioned in my last video that, was it my last video? Recently I was talking about artist trading cards and how I was thinking of anytime I do the artist trading cards, I always stitch these cute little pieces and send them off. I don't keep them for myself. I always think that, oh, I should stitch it for myself. So I kind of came up with an idea. So this is what you're going to see next is technically a finish, but part of it is going to be considered a WIP. So I did a little ladybug. This is from Doreen Jones. Facebook, the business page of Doreen Jones, if you go to the albums by year, there's all kinds of freebies and a lot of really smalls that are perfect for artist trading cards. They have to be under 2.5 by 3.5 inches in size. So I've got one that I'm signed up for. I gotta get this, I gotta finish it off and get it in the mail here the next day or so, because I think shipping is last day of the year. The category was Stitcher's Choice. So I was going through the Doreen Jones and I found this really cute little ladybug. The pattern had like a background in half stitches in a couple of shades of like tan, but I didn't want to do that, so I just did the color. So what I came up with, borrowing the idea from Michelle Bendy, she's got a couple different samplers. She does one, she's calling it her my own spot sampler, and then a retreat sampler, retreat spot sampler. So like for her retreat edition, anytime she goes on retreats, that part of their like goodie bags are projects, patterns that she is stitching like a small motif from that chart. She's not going to have the time to stitch the entire chart, but she's going to stitch one portion of it on one big piece. So she's got this material that, I don't know, I think she went back to like 2018 or 19 worth and finding little motifs. And I shouldn't say little because there's a whale on it that's over 1,000 stitches, I think. And then she's got another piece, just a spot sampler, where again, she's got these pieces where there's maybe a particular motif or two not related to the retreat stuff, but where she's just got a pattern that she's not going to have the time to stitch the entire thing, picking that one thing and just making a whole sampler out of it. So I've decided to do that, but with ATCs. So as I stitched the ladybug, I did one strand on, so like this one's going to be cut down to fit onto a playing card. I took, it's an odd shape of Ada that I would have cut off from a full coverage piece that I'm just going to keep adding on when I stitch an ATC to send out. Obviously, this is not going to get turned into individual cards, but it'll just be a spot sampler worth of the things that I'm stitching for ATCs. So I literally did a strand on the ATC, came over here, restitched that same spot, you know, back and forth, and I actually kept up with it the whole way through. So there's lots of backstitch because it's a Doreen Jones. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep adding to this. So I mean, technically you can consider this a WIP. It looks done, but I'm gonna obviously be adding a lot more to it. So that is my little ATC spot sampler. Alrighty, on to the good stuff. Not that this hasn't been good. I am, by and large, a full coverage stitcher. By the list of my WIPs, by the last 53 minutes of stitching that you saw, you would say, you know, how can you claim you're a full coverage stitcher when the bulk of my list is not full coverage stuff? But when I got big into cross stitch, I want to say it was probably around 2012. 2012? Yeah, I would say sometime late 2011 into 12 was when I got introduced to full coverage pieces, and honestly, I haven't looked back. So how did these get out of order? So I really honestly spend a bulk of my time working on full coverage. They're year-long projects. They're obviously not something that's going to be done very quick. So we're onto the full coverage section. I think we've got 10, something like that. My oldest, Midnight Messenger, artwork from Ann Stokes, chartered by Heaven and Earth. This material is dirty, but it's going to be stitched full coverage, obviously. It's going to be washed before framed. So here we go. In fact, let me switch my notes because I made notes of percentages. I just recently picked this up for the first time this year. I think I did not even stitch a full percentage worth when I picked it up this time. This is, for the most part, until, what was it, last year? I don't know. 16 count, two strands, full cross, for the most part. I've got a couple pieces now starting to be on 18 count. I'll mention those when I get there. But this is my Midnight Messenger. The details in this owl are so good. I can't wait to get to the owl's face that's going to be down here somewhere. But this was a big lesson in full coverage is meant to be viewed from a distance. I remember stitching her face. There were some bright pinks that I thought looked really weird as I was stitching it. But again, you know, on the frame being 1.5 feet from my face, it looked weird. I remember holding it up here and it's like, wow, you could just see the detail. It looks a whole lot better. Definitely, I mean, lesson I've learned multiple times, but it's a good reminder that full coverage is meant to be seen at a good distance, not just you're stitching right in front of you. So I think there's 2 full coverage pieces that have not seen any progress at all. That one barely saw any. This was the first one that didn't get any progress at all. Serenity Lane. Is this a Donna Gelsinger? I think it might be. Heaven and Earth. I actually have page 1 done, and that's about it. It's not a huge piece. So Midnight Messenger is sitting at 51.12%. Serenity Lane hasn't been touched this year. I didn't even write down how much percentage I'm at the moment. So like I said, it's not going to be a huge piece. This is probably the mini version. Kind of gives some of that Thomas Kincaid vibe without being a Kincaid. Next piece. Again, did not see the light of day this year. Pain-free craft. This is called Dragonfly Clock. I don't remember the artist's name. This one's going to be a decent size. But again, this is where, if you watched a year ago WIP Parade, this hasn't changed at all. That's not even the right way. Helps if I hold it up right. Page 1 is done. That's about it. Well, maybe a quarter of the next page. Again, this is a pain-free craft. I want to see some good progress on it. Maybe next year. So what I do have plans of for next year, I am jumping on WIP Go, which I haven't done in a couple of years. But I'm kind of following Jessie Marie's plan that she did this year of full coverage, where she took the number called for times 100, did that many stitches. I am doing it on all full coverage. So I have a wheel of all of my full coverage that when the numbers get called, I'll just spin it. There's a project for that. So for January, the numbers 2 and 7 pulled. A piece that I'm going to show soon, I think Companions, was pulled for, so for 2, I'm gonna put in 200 stitches. Hopefully I actually put more in when I pick it up, but that'll be an easy one. And then number 7 was which way, so again, that's gonna be coming up yet. So I'll put 700 stitches in. So that's gonna be my WIP go. So I'm hoping maybe some of these pieces that hasn't seen any attention in the last couple of years, maybe might get pulled for some of those higher numbers and maybe actually get some love. You have seen this one all year, every video, I'm pretty sure. I had it as a focus on a finish for this year, but it's not done yet. Mini Sea Opal artwork by Elizabeth Belker, charted by Hayden. Again, I did this as a focus on a finish. I'm impressed with my progress, and I'm not mad that it's not a finish. It's gonna be a finish in the next year or something. In the new year, maybe first quarter, I'm not putting a set date, but I've got two pieces that I'm planning on being focused on and finishes for this year. So I want to show, this is where I started the year. That's that blotcher there, that's a needle minder. So I had the top row done, plus started, like top row of pages plus started on the next. So I want to show you where I'm at now. I started the year at 33.41%. Mind you, this piece has 105,000 some stitches. I am now sitting at 79.59%. I was about to hold it up sideways. Bam. So that is the lower left corner. So I technically have 6 pages left to go. It is 2 Hayed standard full-size pages and then 4 partial pages. So like the last 2 over here is just, I think it's 9 stitches wide. The bottom is, I don't know, maybe 2 inches tall. So I got a lot done. I was, you know, up here, so I did all of this and all of that. So I'm not mad about the progress at all. It is stunning. I am stitching this for my mom. She knows about it. She picked it. So it is planning for her to get it finished in 2026 so that she can get it framed and put on her wall. Look at that. Completely in the filling up the frame. Again, this is the mini version. I've seen what is it? Darling and Bluebell, stitching the regular size